If you're anything like me, you don't enjoy warming up before climbing. But as a fitness coach going on 12 years, I know the value of a good warm-up. A good warm-up isn't just about getting your muscles moving. It preps your joints, fires up your nervous system, and can even make you stronger. That's why when I first heard about Dr. Tyler Nelson's injury prevention warm-up on the Training Beta podcast, I was intrigued. It just made sense, and after doing my own version of it for the past 18 months, I can say it's a game changer. Not only has it gotten me ready to climb, but I truly think it has made my fingers stronger and helped me reach higher grades of climbing. Today I'm going to walk you through the warm-up I use before every session, one that's 90% based on Tyler's method. If you want to check out his full version, there's a link in the description, but for now, let's dive in. So one of the reasons I started doing this warm-up is because I actually tweaked my rotator cuff climbing when I wasn't doing any real warm-up. So I start off my warm-up with 3 different exercises on the ground, all to warm up my rotator cuffs. First is laying on the ground, arms out to your side like a T, and we're going to lift up, hold for 3 seconds at the top, and do 10 reps of those. These are all end range exercises, so the range of motion is pretty small. And you're not trying to squeeze your shoulder blades together because that's not going to utilize your rotator cuff. So just keep the movement small. Second exercise is external rotations in that same position. Arms are going to be at 90 degrees. Same thing, holding 3 seconds at the top for 10 reps. And then the third exercise, moving straight from that external rotation position, you're just going to lift your forearms off the ground, again holding for 3 seconds at the top for 10 reps. The next exercise is the first in the series of Tyler's injury prevention warm-up. It starts with a superset of 90-degree lock-offs. You're going to do 3 reps with a 5-second hold at the top and about a 3-second rest in between reps. After watching the video, I could see I could go a little bit higher. These should be 90 degrees of a lock-off. After you do those 3 reps, you're going to switch into 10 squats, regular stance. His warm-up has you going up on your toes. After those, you'll go into a supinated or chin-up grip and do the same thing. 5-second hold at the top, 3-second break, before moving on to a set of wider stance squats. I think these are important, especially if you're new slab climbing, trying to get the hips open, staying close to the wall. Then after those squats, we'll move into 120-degree lock-offs. Same thing, 5-second hold at the top, 3-second rest for 3 reps before moving on to single leg toe touch. It's a good superset of pairing an upper body with lower body. Makes it more time efficient versus trying to do all those at once, which would require a lot more rest in between the lock-offs. And honestly, the first time I did this warm-up felt pretty hard. So if you have to, you could definitely keep your feet on the ground for this and then just put a maybe like a 70% intensity load through your arms. But I think as you move through this warm-up over time, these definitely get easier and improve your lock-off strength. So you could actually get stronger through this warm-up. The final lock-off is going to be a really wide grip. Again, about 120-degree lock-off, 5-second hold at the top, 3-second rest for 3 reps, followed by these around-the-clock toe taps, or 3 sets of each. After those lock-offs and lower body exercises, we're going to move into isometric external rotation. So for this, I use these stall bars at the gym. You could also use dip bars. And you're going to work through 3 different hand positions, holding for about 7 seconds each. Basically, I'm keeping my elbows close to my body and driving my hands into the uprights of this stall bars. After I do that for 2 rounds, I go into single leg squat to a bench. Again, pairing upper body with lower body helps make things more efficient. And after those single leg squats, you're going to do a compression hands on the outside of the stall bars, or in this case, I'm using dip bars just to show a different variation in case you don't have stall bars at your gym. But same thing, 3 different grip positions, and you're going to do about 7-second press into the bar for 3 sets, for 2 sets of each position. And then I've been having tight hip flexors, so I've added this into my warm-up. It's kind of like a knees over toes guy exercise. I've also done Cossack squats instead of these 2, just warming up the lower body some more. For another shoulder warm-up, I do these bottom-up kettlebell carries. I'll do 1 set with bent arm, so arm 90 degrees, just warming up the rotator cuff. It actually hits your grip too. And then after these bent arm carries, I'll do isometric squat hold, where I'm trying to push my knees out, working on hip abduction, so basically your glutes. And then I go into straight arm, bottom up kettlebell carry, just working the arm in a different position. And then I'll do a more narrow stance squat hold, trying to push my knees together, so I just have my elbows there to push against. After that, we work into some isometric push-up holds. So I do 3 sets, 7-second hold at the bottom, 3-second rest. I'll do a more of a traditional width of my hands for the first set, and then go into some single leg glute bridge, 10 on each leg with about a second hold at the top. After the glute bridge, I go back to another set of push-ups, but this time with a little bit of a wider hand placement. And then do another set of single leg bridges, but this time with my foot further extended from my body, so it's a little more hamstring. Next up is a finger warm-up. So this is the same protocol from Dr. Tyler Nelson's warm-up. So it's going to be 5 open-handed hangs for 7 seconds on, 3 seconds off. After those 5 hangs, I'll do these tibialis raise and some single leg calf raise. I was listening to a podcast with Toby Roberts, coach, and for a long time I've done these hangs just straight arm, but he mentioned how you'll tax the wrists by being in different positions. So now I'll do like a straight arm hang, followed by like scapular retracted hang, then like a semi bent arm, and then more of a lock off, just to put my wrist in different positions. So another set of the open-handed hangs. Again, 7 seconds on, about 3 seconds off. I'm just counting in my head, so it's not super precise to the second. I think if you're in the 5 to 7 second range, you'll be good. And then I do some more lower body exercises, just these Patrick steps, followed by calf raises from a squatting position. Next, I go into a really big edge and do some hangs. Again, varying straight arm and bent arm. Something new I added to these hangs is trying to get my palm closer to my hand, so really activating my fingers more. Should be able to see it. This is based on a post Tyler made, just saying how this is going to activate more muscles in the hand, which is what you want to do if you're trying to strengthen it. Then after that first set of hangs on the large edge, I do a single leg jump to the mat. Usually I'll do a box jump, 2 legs, but if I'm over here in this part of the gym, there's no box, so I just do a single leg jump to the mat since they're much lower than a box. And then I move on to another set of hangs. Again, really trying to bring my palm towards my fingers, flexing the hand muscles more, building the strength that way. I think that's been a big help too, is just doing more active finger training versus passive. And then I'll do some depth drops. Again, if you're on a box, you could do this just 2 legs drop off, but since I'm over here, I do it with 1 leg. And then I move on to these velocity pull-ups, so just pulling up really fast, feet are on the ground, arms already engaged, just doing a pull-up as fast as I can, firing up the nervous system. After that, I'll do these little single leg hops, 10 on each leg. After that, I'll do some explosive push-ups from the knees, or you can do your hands elevated on a surface. Sometimes I use a box or a bench. Next, I do these little finger pulses on an edge, so that's a 20 millimeter edge. Just pulling down, feet don't need to leave the ground, just putting pressure into the edge. Then I'll do these lateral hops, 10 on each leg, and then another set of those little finger pulses. Final thing I've been adding to finish up my warm-ups, which I think has helped increase my finger strength. I've noticed like on some V6s with some small holds, like the climbs have went really well. So these are just finger curls. I use this force board attachment to measure the amount of weight I'm putting into it, which is cool to see over time because it's definitely gone up. When I first started doing this, getting, I think, maybe like 95 pounds was a challenge, but now I'm regularly above 100. It's also a good way of auto-regulation. If I do these and I know I could be in the hundreds and I'm under 95, it's a good indicator that this climbing session might not be the best just because the fingers aren't there. It's definitely cool to see these numbers go up and translate actually onto climbing. So I'll usually do 5 curls on each hand, just a few seconds. Basically my goal is try to get close to 100 and then relax. And then after that, shoes are on and we're ready to climb. Hopefully you have some takeaways from this video. I definitely recommend doing some sort of warm-up that isn't just doing easy climbs, because I don't think easy climbs is gonna get your body ready to do something harder. So if I could give you any takeaway, it's definitely warm up the shoulders, warm up those bigger muscles, and then move into more climbing specific warming up, such as with like a hangboard or these finger curls.